Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of Thought Time, a channel dedicated to exploring ideas in movies, philosophy, and politics. In today's episode, we'll be analyzing the 2019 movie Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho. This analysis revolves around modern controversial topics, and will try to tackle any controversial ideas with grace and objectiveness, and please excuse any mispronunciations. Korean is not exactly my strong suit. Anyway, on to the analysis. The film centers around a lower-class family, struggling to live and pay the bills in their semi-basement apartment. They eat whatever the patriarch, Kim Ki-taek, can scrounge for them. They work menial jobs to pay the bills, and have to steal local Wi-Fi in order to have internet access. However, when a friend of Ki-woo, the son, gives him an opportunity to tutor the daughter of the wealthy Park family, the family's circumstances start gradually changing. Slowly and surely, the family starts claiming jobs for the Park family, and essentially move their way into their residence, even replacing the existing workers such as the maid and the family chauffeur. But everything changes again for the family when the maid comes back and reveals that she has been harboring her husband in a seclusive underground dungeon. The Kim family is then forced to juggle the needs of the wealthier Park family while attempting to appease the maid and her husband from revealing their elaborate lie. While many have noted the clear capitalist symbolism and social stratification that this movie depicts, few, if any, have discussed this movie as a parallel for the media's depiction of illegal immigration. But before we unpack some of those ideas, it is important to understand why people immigrate illegally in the first place. For many immigrants, their current livelihood may be dangerous or devoid of opportunities. They are willing and able to provide services, but their physical location is their bottleneck to success. This can be seen with the Kim family, where they do have jobs creating pizza boxes, but clearly that is not enough to provide a suitable quality of life for them, and the area itself does not seem to be brimming with fun, lucrative jobs, such as, say, Silicon Valley. Even if they did have comfortable jobs in their semi-basement residence, the flood scene shows how circumstances beyond their control can easily devastate any progress they attempt to make at a better life. Essentially, the family must collectively quote-unquote immigrate to the park's residence if they want any chance in life, similar to the American dream, if you will. The son even dreams of acquiring the beautiful park estate one day. Although the legality of their scheme seems to be in a gray area, they certainly obtain their jobs within the Park family under false pretenses, so comparing it to illegal immigration, such as someone presenting a fake passport and ID, seems reasonable. They are willing to risk everything, including going to jail, simply for a chance at a better life. The Kim seems like they have everything to gain, while the Parks have everything to lose, which feeds into the central motivation behind much of the thought on illegal immigration: fear. The media tells us to fear illegal immigrants because they take jobs from hardworking people and/or do a bad job and/or are lazy and do nothing, do not pay taxes, have no culture and/or ruin the domestic society's culture, and most disturbing of all, are dangerous criminals that are out to steal our woman, quote-unquote. All these ideas, of course, are often baseless and merely fear-mongering, when in fact, most illegal immigration isn't characterized by a family jumping a fence, but rather someone legally entering the country and letting their visa expire. However, this movie does a good job of portraying the collective biases of the country's view on illegal immigration, rather than the reality. The Park family is determined to provide an ideal living situation for themselves and their children, and thus only rely on the best, most reputable labor. The mother, Choi Eun-guo, relies on the references of others to make sure whoever works inside their house is an insider. However, the Kims are outsiders, and their son even admits this to the Park daughter later in the film, as he feels like he does not fit in. So they must use tricks to work their way in, to gain the family trust. This, unfortunately, plays into the aforementioned stereotypes and preconceptions about illegal immigrants, as the Kims literally have to steal the jobs of others to get what they want. They only have to act the part of a normal laborer to get what they want, which is mainly to get drunk and relax, as it is shown that they are fairly lazy laborers in the scene where they are constructing pizza boxes too hastily for them to be usable. The fact that many view immigrants as dirty or disease-ridden is constantly highlighted by the Park's remark on the smell of the Kims. The son has a romantic affair with the daughter of the Park, playing into the fear that illegal immigrants are determined to steal the woman of a society. And lastly, the Kim father literally murdering the other father once again plays into the fear that illegal immigrants are dangerous murderers. The Parks even fetishize those poorer than them in their sex life, but the mother asks the husband to buy drugs for her as if they are role-playing their idea of what being lower class, or what their idea of living in a third world country or something must be like. However, the Kims themselves are not free from the cycle of villainizing immigrants. They themselves must characterize the maid as some dirty, disease-ridden servant by using peach fuzz to give her an allergic reaction and convincing the park matriarch that she has tuberculosis. Additionally, they make the driver out to be some kind of sexual deviant by the daughter leaving her panties in the back of the car. To blend into their environment, they are forced to villainize others and portray them as the other, so they look more in. Additionally, they constantly now live in fear of the guy in the basement coming in to ruin what great situation they now have. However, although this movie is cinematically phenomenal, the concept is fundamentally absurd. It is ridiculous to believe a family could possibly weasel their way into another family's life like this, with their plan initially going off without a hitch. Plus, it is absurd to think that a family could be harboring a man in their unknown basement for years, and the man can live off of scraps of food provided to him weekly. The absurdity of the plot itself highlights the hysteria surrounding illegal immigration. All the fears surrounding it are merely paranoia, designed to otherize people and create a false sense of superiority. Clearly, everyone in the film is doing their best to survive, given their circumstances. However, what is real is that millions in poverty do constantly struggle to make a better life for themselves, and only a small margin of those opt to illegally immigrate. An even smaller portion of those who illegally immigrate are what we typically think of as someone that jumps the border to try to seek asylum. Those that do choose this live in constant fear of the authorities and still struggle to provide for themselves and their families, and can only dream of a better life through their hard labor, such as Ki-woo can dream of buying the house to save his father one day. But ultimately, the dream is just a fantasy, as the reality is it would be financially impossible for him to ever overcome his oppressive situation. Just like many immigrants, do not end up as wealthy and prosperous as they hoped for, as they end up caught in an endless cycle of poverty. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the very first episode of Thought Time. Please leave your suggestions in the comments for any other topics you would like me to cover. Remember to like and subscribe if you would like to see more of this content from me in the future. Thanks.
그럼